Let's talk about safety. This is one of the most common questions I get, particularly because I am young and female. Taxi driver has always been considered a very dangerous job when it comes to physical violence from other people. One of the things that does increase the safety is that since there's no money exchange, it's unlikely for there to be a tussle about the fare. An important thing to recognize is that there's definitely a difference between the safety of male drivers and female drivers. From the drivers that I spoke to, it's much more likely for female drivers to be sexually assaulted and harassed. On the other side, attacks of a physical nature are much more common for male drivers. My city is pretty small and relatively safe, and we've still had drivers assaulted here. One of the questions that people often ask about safety is whether or not they're allowed to bring weapons. Lyft has a strict no weapons policy. So if you drive for Lyft and someone reports that you have a weapon, you could be deactivated. Uber's a little more lenient. They still have a strict no firearms policy, but they allow other forms of weapons. It's pretty common for someone to have a taser, mace, a knife, and a lot of drivers also report that they still carry a firearm. In addition to being against the rules and possibility of getting you deactivated, this could also be illegal depending on your state. Always check on your local laws on basically everything. Many people will bring things that aren't necessarily a weapon but could be used as a weapon, such as a heavy flashlight or a tire iron that they'll keep close to them. Another question that's really common is whether you're allowed to bring someone with you. No. Uber and Lyft both have a strict no one else policy. Some of you might have seen this hilarious exchange. I saw a really interesting story recently where someone said they went to put something in the trunk of a car and there was a man eating pizza in the trunk. They said it was the driver's husband. I have no idea if that's true, and it's not even a secondhand source, it's like third-time source, but hilarious. But also definitely a problem. Now the question of whether I personally feel safe is certainly different. Uber and Lyft driving is not necessarily safe. I don't know if it's necessarily less safe than other situations, but there is definitely a factor of you are alone most of the time. And often you're alone in an enclosed space with a stranger. If you're not comfortable with that, you probably shouldn't be a driver. Personally, I feel safe the vast majority of the time that I'm driving. Most people want to be good people. There have definitely been situations that have made me uncomfortable and feel a little unsafe. But I personally am not one to let things like that stop me from doing what I want to do. Most of the time when I'm made to feel unsafe, it's by a guy who just keeps going on and on about how I'm unsafe. Most people don't want to hurt me, so stop thinking about it. Uber did recently put on something where you can click a call 911. There's also a feature where you can set it up so someone can see your location. People will often have that location automatically sent to their child or their spouse, so that can help you feel a little bit safer. So is it safe? Not necessarily. Whether or not that deters you is entirely up to you. As always, I hope this has been helpful. Feel free to leave questions or video suggestions in the comments, and I will see you later.